Peace and blessings. Namaste. To all light warriors, workers, and everything in between. It is I, Sophie, today, and I am so sorry about the delay. I know it seems like I was in MIA, but the truth of the reality is I had to take a trip to Pettyville. And what I mean by Pettyville is there's entities right now that is trying to target my channel. Okay. For whatever reason, that goes on in their little demented minds, whatever the cause may be, they're trying to target my channel. So they went back, scrolling through all of my videos to try to find something to report. And they actually found a video that was about 2 years old that was dealing with the pandemic. And they reported that video for medical misinformation. So therefore, I had a strike against me, and I no longer could post videos for a whole week. Now, I had to go to Pettyville, all right, because I was a little bit upset for about 2 hours. That's about as long as it takes for me to get over something. I may visit a place, but that doesn't mean that I live there. It does not mean that I stay there. Okay. And that's the example that I want to leave for you guys. All right. You may have to visit Pettyville every now and then, but it's not for you to stay. It might be for you to address something. The interesting part about this whole situation is if anybody that really knew me knew that the bulk of my work, the bulk of my mission takes place off camera. All right. So even if the case was that you never saw my face again, you will still know my presence exists. All right. Because I am on the ground running. Okay. I am working with nonprofits. I deal with actual people. Okay. So that type of energy is never going to be denied. Okay. You're going to feel it one way or the other. Even if this shuts down, I'm still going to teach. You understand? Because I was anointed and commissioned to do so. And I'm very good at what I do as well. All right. So, that's not a big deal. The part that bothers me is when people just do not have anything else to focus on. So that you become their focus. That's obsessive. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm flattered if you're obsessing over me. But at the same time, at least do it in a healthy manner. Don't show your hands. Because once you start showing your hands, I know the angle that you're coming from. All right. I know what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And as I have said many, many, many times, okay, some of these universal principles will never be denied. Okay. So if you find yourself in the dharmic phase, great. If you find yourself in the karmic phase, great. All right. Now, why would you say great? If you're going through some karma. Why would I say that to you guys? Karma is not a good thing to do. Oh, yes, it is. Because it's a perfecting of the soul and the soul's journey through life lessons. Okay. I told you about the art of transmutation. We never sit around and get upset about things that people do. We can't control what other people think, how they feel. None of that. But what we do know how to do is transmute every single negative attack to be a stepping stone. Now, what probably was not expected was the whole entire week that I was down and couldn't do any YouTube videos or things like that. All I did was get a whole bunch of downloads that gave me way more things to teach. Okay, so my soul actually went through that ascension while we was doing it. It hurts. It hurts that people would spend that much time invested in you, but it's also very flattering. Okay. If you know how to understand it, it is very, very flattering to have people obsessing over you. We just don't want the wrong type of obsession. What I have learned to do during this time, when I actually tell you I'm a mental alchemist, I am a mental alchemist. All right. I use this time that I was down to get heavier into my meditations, to get, my scripts written, to hear downloads coming from the creator, to have things to actually talk about, because I have learned how to process this realm through the universal principles and the laws. Okay. Now that's going to sound a little bit confusing to you guys, but remember, one of the laws is the law of rhythm, right? It says the pendulum swings from left to right. In other words, every dog has its day. All right. And we may have to deal with that. Okay. One day we'll be up, another day we'll be down. This is just how life works. It's the ebb and flow of things. We can never, ever, ever escape laws, universal laws, or principles. But what we can learn how to do is minimize its effects in our lives. Okay? So when the pendulum does swing, you're not going from extreme wealth to extreme poverty. No. You've already set yourself up in a position so that you're as close to polarizing any of its opposites as necessary. So when it swings, it just swings very minimal. And therefore, you can still stay in that vein of comfort. All right? Make no mistakes, okay? Everything that is done in the dark has to be brought to light or must be brought out into the light, okay? The light illuminates the darkness. So for those who, have hidden enemies, they're soon going to be exposed too. I prophesied a very long time ago about what was going to happen on some of these timelines. It is the Alpha and Omega principle. All right? It's the Alpha and Omega principle. Now, you have heard it written, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. A lot of people process that saying as, a whole earth, like the end of time and the beginning of time. Like this is dealing with the entirety of the matter. And in reality, it's only dealing with a specific age. Okay? So what we are saying here is the creators and the governors of the Piscean age are the same creators and the governors that have to destroy it. I told you people a long time ago, family, that we don't have to get ourselves all in the muck and the mire of things, okay? We will be infiltrating the matrix just to bring about some changes, some evolutions, we may have to be called to remove people and put people back in position, especially with our county school systems, our governments, things like that, people who are unqualified. We want to move them out the way, and we want to bring in righteous people, ethical people, intelligent people, okay? So this is how we are reshaping our world and our reality. Now, along with that is the understanding of that universal principle and that Alpha and Omega code. In other words, these organizations that didn't work out for humanity did not have our best interests at heart. You're going to watch them implode and self-destruct from within itself, okay? The same people who created it, the same beings that created it, the same entities that created it are responsible for being the ones to destroy it. So you don't have to get involved in it. They're going to turn on each other. We have witnessed this in the music industry. Matter of fact, the whole entire entertainment industry. We've seen it happening in media. We've seen it happening in government with the whistleblowers. Okay? I told you that there are a lot of sacred and high vibrational beings that are infiltrating these industries right now. I told you not to be afraid and say, oh, we got to run away and hide in the matrix. No, we're up in it. Okay? We're up in it because we have work to do. When it comes down to the matrix, it's mental. We can be in this world and still be not of it. Do you understand? We can function in this world, but still think on higher levels. So when we're sitting back and we're watching things take place, when we're watching people turn against each other in major industries, okay? I was watching some YouTube videos where, they were talking about certain singers, certain actors, especially a lot of producers that are working out in the background, and they're starting to come out and tell some of the things that they were doing, to young artists that were coming in. Because ultimately this system does have to be destroyed, but it's the way that we do things. The one thing that I always knew, whether or not you want to believe in the Bible or you don't want to believe in the Bible, there are certain tenets in there that reign supreme and will always reign true. And that's we are going to know each other by our fruits. No bad tree can bear good fruit, and no good tree can bear bad fruit. So we're going to start being able to know who our brothers and sisters are by the fruits that they bear, not because they're eloquent of speech, not because they're charismatic, not because they're very knowledgeable, not because they have all of this wisdom, but what they are actually doing with it. Okay? This age right now is chiefly dealing with the principle of understanding. There's no place to go out around this earth and start evangelizing again. That era is done. It's in the past. Gone. Those who are sealed, already sealed. Gone. We don't have to go walk around and call ourselves apostles and build churches and stuff. We're leaving that era. That's the Piscean age. We are in the age of Aquarius. And of those of you who are in the know, okay, especially if you are an earth angel or a star seed, you know that with any turning of the age, there is a newness above and below. When you start processing your world, your surroundings through these universal principles, you will see these things play out right in front of your eyes. If the as above, below principle is correct, then you should have the ability to discern the seasons that you are in based off of what is going on in your world. Do you understand? As above, so below is not just a cultish knowledge. It was actually implemented in the Lord's Prayer as well, on earth as it is in heaven. So we're mirroring. When you start seeing certain, people or entities or genders always in control, why? They're in control there. When you start seeing certain beings start to rise and ascend, that's what's going on up there as well. So pay attention to the people around you. Pay attention to your earth and know that the things that you are worrying about here is possibly going on there as well. All right. So we're shifting here because we're shifting there. We're entering into a new age where we are no longer going to be dependent on, angels and saviors and things of that nature, because the Creator has already prophesied during this time that he was going to pour his spirit out on all flesh. We're all going to connect with the Creator in our own way, in our own systems of beliefs. Okay? There was a time where I was almost 100% sure that all religions were going to disappear. But as, listening and meditating and understanding that to force people to abandon religion is actually the violation of the free will. We can't force anybody to believe a certain way or not to. So the religions of this earth are going to be here, but they're going to be transformed. Okay? In other words, every religious center, every spiritual center, every angel that is over that center now has a responsibility to direct the people that they are teaching to connect directly with the source and bypass anything else. All right? It's not necessary in this time because we all have our unique way of doing things, and no two people are really the same. This is why we have to learn how to collaborate with one another. We're here on this earth all making moves based off of our unique calls. Some of us are creator beings. Okay, so we're just in charge of creating the new earth. Okay, putting things in place, putting order in place, changing and rearranging, shutting some things down and opening up something new. Why? Because the creator beings, okay, the creator beings that are on this realm have the ability to bypass the firmament. Now, when you're going to ask me, what do you mean by bypass the firmament? Remember, there's nothing new under the sun. Put it together. Okay? But for those of you who have went through these countless levels of ascension, and you can tap in outside of this realm, that's where you're going to get all the new thoughts and the new creative ideas. That's not going to be simply recycled or built upon. There's nothing wrong with building upon an old foundation. Behold, we can make everything new. But the point is, you have the unique ability to tap right into source with the mind of source and then inspire others and yourself to take a leap out on faith and risk it. Do something brand new, and it's beautiful. Right? So we go to Pettyville because we have to deal with lower vibrational entities. Okay, we have to deal with, unfortunately, I mean, if I had it my way, we'd already be separated, and I can deal with, all of us will move forward in peace and love. Right? And we will be multicultural and diverse in our understandings. We'll understand the creator beings, what their role is. We have the warrior classes, what their role is. Okay? We have the healers, what their role is. We have the teachers and the scholars, what their role is. So it is important during this time not to compare apples and oranges, but more to collaborate as a whole, because everybody has a piece of the puzzle to fit in. So we utilize each other. We utilize each other, strengths and weaknesses. All right. And we root on, we cheer on our brothers and sisters when they are achieving beautiful things in their lives. We don't sit around and get upset at somebody else's life or somebody else's influence. Okay? We're not children. We're not children. All right? And for a lot of beings that think that it's okay to function as a child, that's not how we roll here as an effective leader. You can't lead with a child mentality. Do you understand? So playing childish games is not necessary. It's not necessary. You have to balance out these polarities. Remember what I'm talking about, the pendulum swing. Okay? You don't want to be stuck in a realm of duality, feeling hot and cold, right or wrong, mad or happy. You have to now polarize these things. Get it close to 0 point as you can. So, with that being said, I have a very old, wise, and mature soul. But I have a very youthful, young, and playful spirit. And by merging these two together, it keeps me balanced, knowing when, why, and how. Whatever nature is needed at the time. We must understand that the age of scapegoating God, scapegoating the creator, blaming other people has already passed. We have had ample time to get this right. We have had, star seeds and earth angels come down here for millennials and millennials, writing and giving information and inspiring humans to move on to the next level of evolution. However, some people decide to stay, stuck. They're stuck in a karmic cycle. Okay? There was a scripture that talked about that. I think it was in 2 Timothy, where it says we're going to have people that are always seeking, always learning and never seeking knowledge, or never achieving knowledge, never achieving understanding. And remember, we were always taught, in all thy getting to get understanding. Okay? Understanding is the divine child and the perfection of the soul. All right? So we balance here and here. We balance here and here. We balance our maturity and our childlike behavior. Okay? We balance all of these things so that we escape the realm of the Baphomet that keeps you double-minded in a karmic cycle over and over and over again. What does it profit you to sit around and read books all day long if you have not grasped the principles that all of these things were supposed to teach? I have already gotten past the need to learn, to keep obtaining knowledge. I am in the realm of application and creativity. Now, that does not mean that what I am doing is right for you. Okay? There are some of you who may be called to keep on studying over and over and over again. I don't know. Maybe you're called to be a scholar. But also remember that during this time, there was going to be a certain, class of beings that's going to come here and unlock the scrolls, the mysteries. Remember, in your ancient writings, there was things that was given, but told to seal up until the end of days. All right? Now, I'm not going to say the end of days, but it's very, very, very obvious that it's an ending of an era. Okay? as we let go of the Piscean age and enter into the age of Aquarius, where the man is pouring the water. We're going to symbolize that as the spirit or all of the earth. All right? We don't need saviors. We really don't need leaders. You weren't called to be sheep. Do you understand? Those of us who are gifted to teach and lead is to teach and lead future teachers and leaders. Not to have followers, not to have perpetual students. Okay? We make this our business because we want everybody to rise. Everybody to rise. I don't need to be looked up at. Do you understand? So even, trying to take my face away, there's way more platforms than that. There's more than one way to skin a cat. That's a terrible expression, by the way. I never really understood more than one way to skin a cat, because who the heck is skinning cats? Those are my babies. I will get upset. I will get upset. So anyway, we learn to balance these things. We learn to transmute anything that is negative our way. So we jump up another notch. Okay. So thank your haters. Thank your enemies. Okay. Thank all of those people who may be going around slandering you, gossiping about you, reporting you. Oh, and this is my favorite. Plagiarizing you. That's been happening to me for years as well too. There are people who may go on my website, watch my videos, and then kind of revamp and make it their own talking points, and everybody think they're so great and will never give you your flowers, knowing full well they wouldn't have known any of that if they had not come across you. But in the end, that will be revealed too. I'm almost to the point where I don't want to be in Pettyville, but I want things balanced and fair. And I'm waiting very patient, as patient as I possibly can, for some of these these prophetic timelines to start playing out. Many of us are tired of fighting. All we want to do is be the best versions of ourselves and help other people do that. We're tired of fighting. Fight who? What? For what? Who? Do you understand? Who? I need you to think about something, family. Who is worth it enough in this realm to take away your peace? To stop you from moving forward? To stop you from achieving the things that you came here to achieve? Who on this realm is worth that? Think about it. If you feel that somebody is worth that, guess what? You have made them a god over you. You're not going to get that right now. But let that sink in, because this is now a controller over your reality. Who controls our reality? You control your reality by the way that you process things. All right? So, again, I apologize for the delay. I am so sorry about this. But if you take anything from this transmission right now, understand how important it is to balance yourself, so you're not operating in Pettyville. All right? Understand how important that is. Understand that you're in the age of understanding. This is the divine child. All right? Look at the children that are coming up underneath us. Oh, aren't they so smart? Look at your animal evolutions. Aren't they brilliant? I've been tracking the animal kingdom for years now. And I'm watching how they evolve in their consciousness. And a lot of times they're a little bit ahead of us. Not because they're smarter, but simply because many of us think we're okay when we're not. The proof is in the pudding of how you think, how you react. I could have came up here blasting a lot of things that I know. But what would it benefit me? Do you understand? That's not my job. My job is to get you to understand that you're above Pettyville. All right? Learn how to process your reality through the laws that govern this reality. Pay attention to your world, pay attention to the nations, and then understand that the things that are being mirrored here are going on up there. So ask yourself, are we at war or not? And it's all going to depend on the timeline that you chose. All right? We're going to minimize the pendulum swing. Yeah. We're going to get as close to 0 point as we possibly can. So when it moves, we're still stable. We are going to forgive and keep moving forward. We're going to take every negative thing that ever came our way, transmute it, and use it as stepping stones to keep ascending, getting more knowledge, more information, more of our divinity. All right? We're going to sit back. We're going to watch the destruction take place without us being involved in it. We are the observer. And we proclaim what needs to happen through speech. Do you understand? That's why I said most of the work I do is not on camera. So good luck with constantly trying to destroy me or my people. See who and what is rising right in front of your face. I am Sophie, and I love you all. And I'm sorry, but have a beautiful evening. Bye-bye now.